special shout out to our sponsor, Qualia. Qualia is the category-creating digital closing platform used by thousands of lenders across the country to seamlessly work with their title and escrow partners. By working better together, Qualia is powering lenders to deliver a differentiated closing experience for their clients. Through real-time communications, closing status updates, and workflow management, Qualia brings lenders together with home buyers and sellers, title and escrow agents, and real estate agents for a secure and seamless closing experience. Qualia is proud to have been awarded the Housing Wire Tech 100 Award for real estate, as well as CB Insights FinTech 250 Award. Discover how you can work more efficiently with your title and escrow partners at qualia.com/innovators. That's QUALIA.com/innovators.
Hello, everyone. If this is your first time joining us, welcome to the Mortgage Innovators podcast, where we deliver fresh and hopefully entertaining insights on all things mortgage and the innovation propelling our industry forward. My name is Michael Guidotti with American Pacific Mortgage, and every Tuesday you can find our rotating group of co-hosts who all share their own unique connection to the industry. This week, I'm extremely honored and pleased to be joined by the founder and CEO of Insellerate, Josh Friend, one of our premier sponsors for our upcoming Mortgage Innovators Conference. Hi, Josh.
Hi, how are you doing? Thanks for having me on.
Great. Thank you for being on. Before we get into it, we want to make sure that everyone knows that the Mortgage Innovators Conference 2022, the Power of Innovation, is back in person in just a few short weeks for an experience that you do not want to miss. We can't wait for you to join us May 2nd to the 4th, 2022 at the Hilton Anaheim. Registration is live, and information about the agenda and sponsorship opportunities can be found at mortgageinnovators.com/conference. Again, that's mortgageinnovators.com/conference. All right, Josh, thanks, man, for being on.
Yeah, no, I always like getting involved and enjoy working with the team at the CMBA.
All right, perfect. Well, before we get into things, and I know, we're really excited about some of the stuff that you're going to be covering at the event. Just wanted to get a little bit of a background on you and, how and why you really started Insellerate and kind of who Insellerate is and who do they serve?
Yeah, no, that's I think that's a good question, and it's really part of our story is part of our success. To give a little background about myself, I started in 1999 as a loan officer. I worked at a company called IndyMac Bank. It was before they were a bank, but it was their first call center, first consumer direct call center, and I was involved in that. I left and started my first mortgage company in 2003. I had a lot of success in the mortgage industry. I more recently, in 2011, invested in People's Bank, brought my mortgage company underneath the bank. We grew that bank, and in that, I had built technology. I started building technology back in 2004. I have I have an engineering background. I was always building technology to help us lend. And what was, I knew that we could be more efficient. I saw that at IndyMac Bank, they had great technology, and I could see, how efficient they were to other people because they're using technology and automation. So I worked to replicate that, and we built the version of Insellerate, and eventually, other lenders saw it and said, hey, that's a really interesting piece of software. How are you guys doing what you're doing? I really like that. Can I use it? And after enough prodding, I said yes. And the bank sold in 2018. So I said, it's perfect time, and let's just do this full time, and let's, grow Insellerate. So now I'm here because it's something I've been doing for years. I have over 20 years, experience, and that's really what you find at our company is we're very much industry veterans. We all know the mortgage industry very well, and it shows. And we're really trying to solve problems for lenders, like real problems, and understand what they need and their pain points.
I think that's so interesting, and I think you hit something that's so spot on. At least for me on the lender side, when we're looking to partner with tech vendors, it's so nice when people have that experience and kind of know where you're coming from, and they know what it's like to be, what it's like to be up against the COE date, or happen to call that agent on the other end. And so I think really having somebody that's been in that, that lion's den with you, I think really helps to set that relationship off.
Yeah, no, it's like, you have a great chef kind of give input in how they want to design their knives and cutting boards and workspace. I think they probably, you're gonna want to buy their products.
Yep. Yep, absolutely. Well, one thing that I noticed, when looking at Insellerate, and I think it's a huge theme coming across our industry right now, is really just kind of the customer for life theme. And I know that means a little bit different things for different people. So, tell us what that means for you and Insellerate.
Yeah, I mean, really what we're trying to help lenders is, the average retention rate. You close a loan with someone, the average consumer has 7 to 11 transactions in their lifetime. That's the range. You close a transaction and lenders are only getting 19% of that back the second time, right? And 0 the third time if they don't get it back the second time, right? So the numbers are really, it's sad that we don't look at our customers that, I've interacted with you, I've given you my social security number, you run my credit, you've got my tax returns, you've seen all this, all these intimate details about me. I trust you. You did a good job. Why would I not want to do my next loan with you? Right. And so we're not really understanding, hey, you have to stay contact. How do you do that? How do you monitor customers? How do you alert, stay in contact with them? What are tools or things that they might want that they want to stay engaged with you? So that's what we're really trying to look at customers for life is how do you keep your brand aware and give them something of value for, the lifetime so they consistently come back to you.
Yep, love that. Well, I think that ties in perfectly to what we're looking forward to at the conference is, really you're going to be having a tech talk, focused on the questions that a lender should be asking your tech providers to maximize their ROI. So maybe share with us a little bit of a preview of what that looks like, what that content is going to be around.
Yeah, I think, the reason we originally built Insellerate, it's because what we wanted didn't exist in the marketplace. And, we have had some long-term industry players and, they've been leading the way for a long time, but some of this technology is 20 years old, 25, 30. I mean, it's if you really look at some of the technology. So the reason why innovation moves so slowly at some organizations is because their technology is so behind. Now in engineering, software engineering, you have processes and certain ways you write code, and it's more like building a house than it is, 20 years ago, it was like creating art because it was new and there's all these different ways to do it. It was what paintbrush did you want to use? Who knows? These are all brand new for us. So now it's like building houses. And so understanding that and understanding what that looks like, how you can find out from your technology providers where they're at in that space, the questions to ask, right? Understand APIs, everyone uses that term, but what does that really mean?
Yep.
So I've looked at some technology providers. Well, yeah, we have APIs, which means they have like 2 what's called endpoints. Whereas something like that, we have hundreds and hundreds of endpoints. What is the difference and why is that so? So kind of just what does that really mean? Because we really need to be asking people this now. Because as we need to become more efficient in the industry, right? You have to become more efficient, and technology is the only way to do it, right? I think we train people as best we can, and we can always, keep training people, but we're not going to all of a sudden be able to learn how to improve people's efficiency through training. We're going to need systems to do that. And the lenders that use systems and new technology to do that new innovative ways to do that are going to, win and take market share. This is the time to really, really grow market share.
Yeah, 100% agree with you. And I think, tying into what we just went through, right? What happened to a lot of lenders when, their volume shot up by 300% in a, 3-month period because of, the pandemic boom and everything that was going on there. So I think to your point, being able to leverage those systems to handle, the volume and the efficiencies without necessarily needing to, triple your workforce.
That's right. Oh yeah, and that's why I said, I was talking to a lender yesterday. I said, what happened in the last 2 years with how quickly everyone paid and hired underwriters and processors and paid, huge, bonuses and salaries, will never happen again.
Mm-hmm.
The next runaround is going to all be automated.
Yep.
The next time we have some type of major boom like this, it won't be people, it's going to be technology. And those lenders who are doing it now, working on it, figuring it out, and we're working with them, they're the ones that are going to, take advantage of it, and compete.
Yeah. So, as we're talking about that, what are some tips or, tricks that you can kind of share with the audience around, keys that you're seeing to help them, vet out new technology, things that they should be looking for, as they're talking to tech vendors right now?
Yeah, I think one of the things to look at is let's really, dive in and challenge your tech vendors on the APIs, and ask them for documentation, or hopefully they have like what's called a Swagger account, which is industry standard for most tech companies, and it allows you to see all the APIs they have, interact with them, do test code with them, and look, is it 5 API endpoints? Is it 100, 200, 300? You're wanting to go with the vendors that have hundreds, and have access to that, because that's the way technology is being built. And then it's, how do the APIs work? So API is just a way for data to be sent back and forth between two systems, but some systems, all they do is let you ask, is something going on? Hey, every 5 minutes I need to say, hey, did anything change in these 1,000 files? Yes, great. And then you have to pull the data back, work with it, and then you push it into another system. That's always going to require some programmer sitting in the middle doing some work for you, which is it's going to have to be something that's going to be maintained. Well, responsive APIs and what's like webhooks are more of like, sending out data in real time. When this change happens, we're automatically going to send it out through the database or the API endpoint and update it in our system. You don't have to pull data out of the system. So it's really going to be coming around, looking at integrations. Then, having those better APIs, or full APIs, is going to allow those lenders to innovate, right, and consistently innovate, right? And that's what's going to change in the next marketplace. I think, we see technology as, where, the next wave of the next big refinance boom is going to be run by technology, right? That's
Yep.
it's not going to be run by people like we did this last time.
Yep. Yeah, totally agree. Well, I think on that level too, when you're talking about, one of the key themes, and we've had a couple of episodes on this, but I'd love to get your take on it, is really, the notion between adoption versus utilization. Because I think some people consider adoption as like, okay, yeah, we have it, everybody has an account, but really the utilization aspect of it, and really how automation ties into, getting a higher level of utilization on it. What are your thoughts there?
Yeah, I think, most systems, even the best systems in technology across the, all the workplaces, don't have 100% utilization, because usually they have so many functions and features, and it means so many different things to different people, and people value different things. What we really strive to do is, how do we make it really easy to use something, right? How do you really go after an easy approach? What do you make it, so it's, how, if a 13-year-old can do it, then we're in good shape. That's kind of the test, right? You want to make it really easy to to use, and then you want to bring value. Like, if I tell you have to use system every day, log in, otherwise you're going to get, I don't know, in trouble. I'm going to tell you every day you didn't log in your system, whatever it may be, and
Yep.
so you just log in and you don't use it, then what's the point?
Yep.
There's got to be value, and then if I can drive value, and there's value in using the systems, and if a lot of time that's just through training.
Yep.
Right, you really have to show someone how to do something, go through some examples, and then they go, oh wow, that was easy, or hopefully that's what they say, and then
Yep.
they have a new skill, and then the next time they go and work with the customer, they're using that new skill, and they're like, wow, that I just did something great. And then if you use automation, the beauty of it is, if they don't do their job as effectively as you want them to, the systems can start pick up a lot of that slack for you, and still come behind you, and then even the ones that do work and do all the things that they can do, it makes them hyper efficient.
Yep. Yeah, I love that thought, because it's like so many times, right? I've heard it even with some of our own loan officers. It's like, hey, I don't want to use that thing. Or it's things that we just turn on in the background. And I can't tell you that a number of times that I've had somebody to reach out, that a borrower responded to something that we had go out, automatic through the system. And they're like, hey, like, this borrower loved this. Where'd this come from? I'm like, the system we've been trying to get you to use forever, but we just turned this on and automated. It's like, oh, okay, well, I'll go ahead and leave it on now. I was like, oh, okay, perfect. So
They found value, right? There's
yep.
something, right? So that's right. That's what works. It's why, what's in it for me, right? So that makes sense.
Yeah, well, I'm really looking forward to your talk at the conference. I know a lot of other people are as well. Before we wrap things up, I think something that's really near and dear to a lot of our hearts is nonprofit work, and wanted you to maybe share a little bit with us on Project Hope Alliance.
Yeah, so Project Hope Alliance is a charity we're involved with. I'm on the board, and we've also as a business have donated to over the years. It serves the 28,000 homeless children in Orange County. So the CMBA Innovators Conference is going to be in Orange County. We're going to have someone from Project Hope there to kind of just talk about, their cause. And we're also going to have a way for, if you just, stop by our booth, give us information, we're going to make a donation on your behalf as well. So it's something that, we'd love for you to check out and, take a look at. It's Project Hope Alliance.
All right, awesome. Well, really, really appreciate your time today. For everyone that joined, thank you so much for listening to today's episode. If you like what you heard, make sure to subscribe to the Mortgage Innovators YouTube channel or wherever you podcast. Josh, thank you for what you and Insellerate are doing, and Project Hope Alliance, taking care of those kids in need down there. Really appreciate those efforts. And until next time, everyone, thanks.